Taylor Swift was backstage, anxiously touching the edges of her guitar beneath the glittering lights of Broadway in the center of New York City. She could still hear the last notes of her Eras tour, with every place making a lasting impression on her spirit. But in the middle of the praise and admiration, a tempest called Travis raged within her heart. The connection between Taylor and Travis Kelce has been the focus of constant media attention. The public scrutinized every action they took, from covert getaways after Super Bowl defeats to rumors of engagement and even impending parenthood. However, Taylor sensed a widening gap between them behind the headlines. As the city was bathed in amber and gold fall foliage one evening, Taylor got a call that would alter everything. Travis sent it, he said. "Taylor, I've made a decision about my future with the Chiefs." In a calm but tense tone, Taylor's heart was pounding. "What do you mean?" "I'm retiring." The air was thick with the words. There was silence between them. Although Taylor had always anticipated this day, hearing it was a gut punch. "I need to focus on what's next for me, for us," Travis went on. "And I've been thinking about our future together." Taylor's throat tightened with breath. "Are you saying?" "I want us to take the next step." Travis spoke with a strong sense of conviction. Experiencing too much emotion, Taylor left the busy backstage area and entered her dressing room. Breathing steadily, she leaned against the cold wall. Her eyesight became blurry as tears filled her eyes. This was the moment she had always dreamt about, but now that it had arrived, uncertainty tormented her. It seemed oppressive to bear the burden of their public lives, the demands, and the ongoing scrutiny. Her career was based on her self-reliance and ability to forge her own route. Could she really enter this new phase of her life without becoming someone else? Taylor felt herself drowning in a sea of emotions as the days went by. With every line reflecting her inner anguish, she put her everything into her music. Her performances changed, and her fans noticed. A vulnerability and rawness that had not before existed were there. Taylor debuted a new song one evening in Nashville during an unexpected acoustic performance. This one's for anyone who's ever felt torn between love and their own dreams. Her song, Tears of the Heart, struck a profound chord with her listeners. It discussed the intricacies of love and figuring oneself out in the middle of turbulence. Similar to many others in the audience, she shed tears as she sang the last notes. Back in New York, Taylor sat down to chamomile tea with her best pals Blake, Gigi, and Selena. Taylor opened her heart to them while they listened. Taylor said, "I'm not sure if I'm prepared for this. What if I lose myself in this relationship?" Her hand was taken by Selena. "Taylor, you've always been true to yourself." Gigi gave a nod. "Being in love doesn't imply abandoning your identity. Our goal is to develop together," Blake said. "And remember, we're here for you, no matter what you decide." With the encouragement of her pals, Taylor paused to think. She created soul-healing songs, spent nights by the fire, and visited remote homes in the Highlands. She understood that her love for Travis didn't have to take away from her own brightness. They could work together to make something lovely. A few months later, Taylor and Travis met in Central Park among the cherry blossoms. His eyes were optimistic as he gazed at her. "I've thought about everything," said Taylor, "and I want to build a future with you." Travis's face brightened with happiness. "Does this mean yes? Let's take this journey together." Their involvement demonstrated their development as a pair and as individuals. They handled the difficulties of their public life gracefully, constantly reverting to the principles of respect and love for one another. Thus, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce began a new chapter full of love, understanding, and the hope of a shared future in the middle of New York's busy streets, visible to the whole world. Under the glittering lights of Broadway, Taylor Swift stood backstage in the center of New York City, her fingers shaking as she got ready for her year-ending show. The previous year had been filled with sold-out performances, albums that broke records, and a global romance. The media has speculated endlessly about her connection with the Kansas City Chiefs' dynamic tight end, Travis Kelce. Taylor's phone rang with a message from Travis while she was adjusting her gown. "I'm thinking about you. After the tour, I'm excited to meet you." Her heart skipped a beat. Because of their hard occupations, They had not spent much time together, but every minute was valuable. The performance was a huge success. Taylor gave her all to each song, and the enthusiasm of the audience was contagious. She experienced a mixture of excitement and tiredness as she made her last bow. Her team praised her backstage, but she was already thinking about Travis. Her phone rang later that night as she was unwinding in her dressing room. Travis was the one. "Hey, superstar," he said in a kind tone. "Hey, you. How's the off-season going for you?" With a light-hearted tone, Taylor answered. "Good, but it's not the same without you here," acknowledged Travis. "Listen, I've been thinking a lot about us, about the future." A beat skipped Taylor's heart. "What do you mean?" "Well," said Travis, "I want us to go forward. Together, I want to create a life. Will you marry me?" "Taylor?" There was silence in the room. Taylor's thoughts whirled. This was surprising since they had spoken about their future. Emotions overtook her, and tears filled her eyes. "Taylor," there was some worry in Travis's voice. I don't know what to say," she said in a broken voice. "Take your time," Travis said. "I just needed you to know how I feel." That night, they spoke for hours about their hopes, anxieties, and the difficulties they would encounter. Although Taylor valued Travis's openness and sensitivity, she couldn't get rid of the uneasy feeling she had. Lost in contemplation, Taylor distanced herself from her loved ones throughout the course of the next several days. She told Emma, a close friend, about it. Taylor said, I love Travis, I do, but this proposal, it's all happening so fast," in a shaky voice. "Tay, I understand. It's a significant choice," Emma said. "But keep in mind that it's your life and your decision. Nobody should hurry you." Inspired by Emma's remarks, Taylor made the decision to escape the mayhem. In the hopes that seclusion would bring insight, she reserved a remote cottage in the Highlands. Taylor threw herself into songwriting during her retreat, giving her everything to the words and melodies. She was sitting by the fire one evening when her mother called. Andrea softly said, "Sweetheart, we've been hearing rumors about Travis's proposal. Is everything okay?" Taylor let out a sigh. "I'm not sure, Mom. I need time to reflect." "Take all the time you need," Andrea said. "We're here for you always." Following a week of introspection, Taylor made the decision to confront her emotions when she returned to New York. She and Travis met at a private cafe, out of the public's view. Taylor said, "Travis," in a steady but passionate voice, "I love you, but I'm not ready for marriage, not yet." Travis nodded in understanding, but his expression sank. "That's respectable, Taylor. All I want is for you to be content." They spoke, reconnected, and reaffirmed their devotion to one another for the remainder of the day. They knew they wanted to face the future together, even if it was still unknown. The pair continued to manage their relationship in the limelight for many months. Taylor channeled her experiences into her work while concentrating on her singing. Travis led the Chiefs to another great season by putting in a lot of effort. Travis turned to her one evening as they were on Taylor's rooftop watching the sunset. "I don't need a ring or a big gesture, Taylor." His voice was genuine as he replied, "I just want you by my side through everything." Taylor's eyes filled with tears as she said, "And you'll have me, Travis, always." Their love remained unwavering throughout their unusual path, which was full of setbacks and victories. This is evidence of their tenacity and dedication to one another. Taylor Swift found herself in the middle of the busy streets and under the glittering lights of New York City. Under the glittering lights and in the middle of the busy streets of New York City, Taylor Swift was caught up in a tornado of feelings. Her connection with NFL player Travis Kelce has captured the public's interest, with both enthusiastic fans and tabloids closely examining every look and move she made. Rumors of an upcoming engagement have been circulating for months. The couple's covert getaway after the